This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
Sometimes he's naughty. Sometimes he's nice. But every time he's Dirt Guy. It's Dirt Guy Drive Time with your host, Dirt Guy. Hey, welcome to Dirt Guy Drive Time, where vlogging's the game and nuclear apocalypse is also the game, I guess. Yep, we're going to talk a little bit about the Cold War and why I miss it in today's installment of Dirt Guy Drive Time. But before we do, let's just say happy Wednesday to those of you celebrating the hump, and we'll leave it at that. Okay, keep it clean, people. What else? Hey, the comments, they just keep coming, baby. I can't believe I took like 3 months off from doing this show, because the comments that I get are it's inspiring stuff. You guys are awesome sauce. And some of you share like personal stories with the community, and I think that's awesome. It's kind of the age we live in, where you can have virtual friends instead of just people you actually have to hang out with. Boy, remember those days? Boy, did that suck. I don't like people well enough to hang out with them. I'm sorry, I know. Hey, so how many of you saw in the community tab that I posted up a new shirt that I made just for Dirt Guy Drive Time called "I Miss the Cold War"? I'm not actually seriously trying to sell those, although if you want to buy one, I'm not going to stop you. But if I put that on Teespring, they'll let me get a sample of it at like half price. And so I want one to wear, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. But as we're talking about the whole shirt thing, by the way, sidebar, I'm supposed to be stuck in traffic right now, right? I'm just flying along. Oh, it's a great Wednesday. Happy hump day, again, times 2. So somebody was suggesting no pine cones, and I like that, by the way. And as always, I can't remember who commented on that, but I've been thinking about that today. I think tonight I might make me a no pine cone zone or something t-shirt just to have one. I think it's fun. If nothing else, I may just print that out like a no parking sign. No parking, that also. Don't park the pine cone. All right, I didn't know I was gonna be so goofy right now. Make one of those signs. I'm gonna put it on the wall of my office in my trailer at work. I think that's gonna be hilarious. Then when like this, my bosses come in and the bank and and the owner and all these serious people, they're gonna go, what is the little stick figure bent over with a pine cone behind him? What's that about? Hey, I don't know. We could tell so many stories for that, shouldn't we? That's pretty awesome stuff. So there you go. Hey, another couple things about work real quick. First of all, the injured kid update. Well, not kid, young man. Very good news I got after I shot yesterday's Dirt Guy Drive Time. He is going to make a full recovery without surgery. He's recovering quite well. So I guess we can all, you know what I mean? That he's going to be okay. Once all the dust settles, just got to recover from his injuries. So that's awesome sauce. And actually, I proposed today that the possibility exists that somebody just beat the crap out of him. Although he's such a nice kid, I don't know who would do it. But everybody thumbs down the idea. There's no way. Nobody beat the crap out of him. Okay, if you say so. However it is, I just hope he recovers rapidly. So, today I got to work at 5:30 a.m. That's right, people. I get up at 3:30. I'm at work at 5:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. And I sat down. I answered a bunch of Dirt Guy Drive Time comments first, because that's my number one priority of the day. My first on-site task is to hook you guys up. I answered those real quick. I take my lunch break in the morning, basically. And after that, baby, it was off to the races. There's 4 superintendents and a loaner superintendent working out of my trailer, plus a laborer. And we were rocking all day. Problem solving and disputes and, oh my God, all of a sudden it was 2 o'clock. Like, where'd the day go? Dago, yeah, Dago bastard. That's from Untouchables, by the way. That was Sean Connery. So anyway, but then there was this one, I had the framer in my office, and we're going over some extras he turned in. He wants to get paid for some junk he did. And first of all, most of it's just ridiculous. And I'll give you one example. But rather than using like framing terms, because some of you aren't into the construction thing like I am, I'm going to use bananas. Okay, so he turns in a thing that says 5 bananas at $100 a piece. You owe me $500. And I looked at him. I'm like, they're bananas, bro. How are they worth $100? Well, yeah, but we had to go back and get the bananas. Yep, they're bananas, bro. How are they worth $500? And we did that on a few of his little line items there, where his guy honked up, and then they're trying to bill me for it. And eventually he stood up. He's like, took the papers, threw them, and stormed out of the trailer, slammed the door behind him. Poor guy. You know, the dude is cool. We bro it down pretty much, but he's, yeah. And you know, through that, and I think it's due to you guys, I was quite calm the whole time. My adrenaline was up because I wanted to just say, listen, you've screwed up so bad out here. Why are you blaming me? But I didn't. I let it ride. And so there was that. So anyway, that's, I guess that's the work thing. Yeah. Let's talk about why I missed the Cold War. I missed the Cold War. That was such an awesome time to be alive for me. Here's where I first got the idea for missing the Cold War. Cindy and I, my wife, the first lady of everything, we were at an 80s club. Oh, I don't know, a couple years ago, year ago, I don't know. It's been a while. We don't go out too often anymore. Too busy making videos. So we were at the 80s club, and you know, I was pogoing a little bit. I was slam dancing a little bit, and we were doing the freaky thing out there. It was awesome. And but as part of that, we're watching the videos from back in the 80s, and you know, it just took me back to the 80s and the Cold War during the 1980s, the 70s and 80s. And it was such a different time. Now, hear me out on this. Most of us don't want to live with the specter of nuclear holocaust, okay? Most of us, we don't feel comfortable living like that. But on that note, I guess, here's the deal. Back during the Cold War, I knew who the enemy was. It was the red guys over there. And we were their enemy, I guess. And so you knew it could come, but you weren't worried about somebody walking into a 7-Eleven and, excuse me, that's a coffee burp, and pulling a pin on a pipe bomb. You know, and the enemy wasn't living amongst you. And no, this isn't a thing about whatever, but the terrorist dudes could be living here right now. You would know because they look like all the other people. And so they could just walk into a schoolyard and go, you know, hey, I'm here to change the toilet paper. Oh, by the way, right? To me, that's more scary than knowing that somebody could be raining down nukes on me, but they knew if they did, we would rain down nukes on them. So they never did. We never did, right? I was comfortable living with the prospect of nuclear holocaust, to be honest with you. But then there were so many other things that I totally dig about that era. For instance, the hippies were peace, love, drugs, and all that for Vietnam, kind of was the thing, and anti-establishment and all that. But it was a different vibe for the hippies from the 80s, which were like punkers and new wavers and all this stuff. The way they responded was different. Just singing songs to, you know, the Russians and the Soviets and the Americans. It's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Kind of songs. I dug it. That one moment where my favorite president of all time, you can love him, hate him, you can love me or hate me for saying this, you can even unsubscribe, because people do. Ronald Reagan. I used to call him John Wayne in the White House. He stood up there and said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Instead of, well, they have the right to have a wall, and perhaps we should be diplomatic about it. No, he called him out on it. Tear down the motherfucking wall, is what he said. Well, he didn't say it like that. I'm saying it like that. And, you know, then, like, we're watching the Olympics, and I really didn't care about much except the U.S. against the Soviets, because that was like our World War III, and when we would take home more medals than the Soviets, it was like, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Ha ha, duh, that. Here's a pine cone for your Soviet keister. But then it was the opposite way when they kicked our butt. It would be like, whoa, we just got our butts kicked by the Reds. What the hell? You know, that stuff was cool. Oh, all the best spy crap, James Bond, etc., all comes from the Cold War. Now it's like, who are you spying on? You can't spy on the terrorists. They will behead your shit for that, right? You don't get to spy on them. You know, and then back then, during that whole era of the Cold War, we had PCs and stuff were coming online later in the game, and you know, but we didn't have cell phones. Hell, we didn't have YouTube. And so what we did is we got to actually, you know, drive along and just listen to the radio, or be at home and we just watch TV. We didn't go on the internet. Kids would have to go outside and play with their friends. Kids would have to do their homework, like with a pencil and paper. Oh my God, that's frightening. And it just felt very different to me back in those days. And I really enjoyed being part of the punk scene back then. I was kind of nouveau punk, frankly. I enjoyed it. And I really miss that era. Now it moves so fast. There's so much technology, and I use it every day. I use it too. I'm scrolling through crap on my cell phone. But I didn't even like it when I got a pager, because then you had access to me. You know, if I didn't have a pager, you'd have to call and leave me a message, and I got to your shit when I got to it. And it's just not like that now. So, you know, I miss the Cold War. I miss that era. I miss knowing who my enemy was, knowing that they would never do anything to harm me, because we would just spank them back bad. And none of them was willing to suicide anything to further their cause. It was just an awesome time back then. Anyway, so that's why I miss the Cold War. I don't know how many of you are younger and go, you're out of your damn mind. But those were just, in the US, in my lifetime, those were the glory days. Growing up in the 80s. Great music. Great clubs to go dancing at. You didn't have to go to a nightclub and all of a sudden there's people doing X and shanking each other. I mean, what's that about? I don't even know. So anyway, that's that. I don't really have much other than that. But I am going to make that pine cone thing, I think. I might do it tonight. I don't know. And submit that for your review. But other than that, that's pretty much what I got for today. Work update, injured guy update, and then the Cold War update. So, I guess that's it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. And until tomorrow, my name is Steve Brown, and watch for the nukes.